Miss, the campus mourns the loss of Senior Sigma Nu member Ethan Bailey.
Plus, Missouri teen shot after arriving to the wrong address.
Here in Oxford, 71 degrees, but a little bit on the windy side. Make sure to stay tuned for the latest in news and weather. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Jania Newsom.
And I'm Seth Parento. We start the show with heartbreaking news of the passing of an Ole Miss student. Ethan Bailey, 21-year-old accounting major from Olive Branch, Mississippi, passed away last Friday. The death was reported as a suicide. His family, friends, and colleagues remained in disbelief following his passing.
Ethan was an inspiring accountant who recently completed an internship with KPMG US. He was a member of Sigma Nu and was a few months away from finishing his senior year. While riding down Sorority and Fraternity Row on campus, you can see black bows tied around different columns. These black mourning bows are symbols of public remembrance or mourning.
A celebration of Ethan's life will be held this Wednesday at 10 a.m. at the Comple Church.
Missouri family continues to pray for the recovery of 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, who was shot twice after going to the wrong address. The accused shooter, confirmed as a white man in his 80s, was placed on a 24-hour investigation hold. He was soon released after consulting with the Clay County Prosecutor's Office. Reporter Camila Bernal has more on this story and how it impacted the city.
The Kansas City community protesting on Sunday after 16-year-old Ralph Yarl was shot as he was trying to pick up his siblings last week. Police say Yarl accidentally went to the wrong address, where he was shot and seriously wounded by the homeowner. Officers arrived at the scene after a neighbor called 911 and took the homeowner immediately into custody.
Our heart goes out to the juvenile victim, and more than anything, to make sure that this child and this child's family knows that there are people working hard, a number of people working hard, to make sure there is justice for this person.
The homeowner, who has not been identified, was released after 24 hours pending further investigation. The police department says they're waiting to obtain a formal statement from the victim and further forensic evidence.
I want everyone to know that I'm listening, and I understand the concern that we are receiving from the community. The information that we have now, it does not say that it's racially motivated. That's still an active investigation. But as a chief of police, I do recognize the racial components of this case. I do recognize and understand the community's concern.
Yarl's aunt says her nephew loves music and is a section leader in his marching band. She says his goal is to attend Texas A&M University to study chemical engineering. Civil rights attorneys Lee Merritt and Benjamin Crump are representing the victim and his family and demanding swift action, and are calling the shooting horrendous and unjustifiable.
As a mother of 3 children, this enrages me.
And protesters gathering Sunday outside the home where Yarl was shot, demanding justice.
He is alive. He is healing.
Yes.
So I just want to tell you thank you for being here, because my nephew is alive.
University of Mississippi student Alicia Arrington Thomas was recently awarded by the Ecological Society of America, giving her the opportunity to travel to the Capitol Hill and discuss science policy with legislators in April. This reward is offered each year, and it gives recipients hands-on training and the chance to meet congressional decision makers, federal agency officials, and ecologists who work in science and public policy.
Officials of Jackson begin their hearing on the garbage problem that has impacted many in the community. Attorneys representing the Jackson, Mississippi City Council and Mayor Lumumba argued today on who has the authority to negotiate a garbage collection contract for the city. The city has been without waste disposal for 2 weeks, causing trash to pile up in the city. President Judge H. David Clark asked the attorneys why the city is fighting itself instead of working together. With no resolution in sight, arguments for the issue are set to resume tomorrow at 9 a.m. Last week, the university held an event called Take Back the Night. This event was a march and rally against sexual assault and showing support for victims. NewsWatch reporter Kennedy Cooper represented NewsWatch at the front lines of the march.
We have the rights! The campus is ours! Take back the nights! Break the silence! Stop the violence!
Right now, I'm standing in front of the student union where advocates have rallied together to bring awareness for sexual violence.
Space. Speak out, but also acknowledge the silence, because both communicate and are symbolic of the various reasons for Take Back the Night.
I think to me this event just really is one of the most powerful events that we put on. We support survivors in our office, so we hear these stories, we are directly worked with people that are impacted, so I think it really just shows that healing is possible. We hold the hope for those students.
I lost a student this year, and for me, being here, not only am I here for her, but I'm also here for everyone that's impacted by gender-based violence.
While many hearts have been affected by the terrors of sexual violence, events like these allow victims to have a voice and feel supported. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Kennedy Cooper.
The biggest bounce house in America is making a pit stop in Memphis, Tennessee, April 28th through the 30th. The world's largest bounce house is a whopping 16,000 square feet inflatable built to have loads of fun. Tickets are now on sale starting at $22 and are expected to be gone quickly, so get yours now.
Coming up, a Sweet 16 party ends with several teens dead.
Plus, how is our country impacted by these multiple mass shootings? Find out this answer and more on NewsWatch Ole Miss.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. A Sweet 16 party resulted in a massacre that left 4 dead, 15 teens shot, and 28 injured. In Dadeville, Alabama this past Saturday, a young girl's birthday party quickly ended. Keenan Cooper, the DJ of the party, said that there were no signs of a fight or disturbance before the shooting began. The 15 teens remained hospitalized and are fighting for their lives.
It's very traumatic in healthcare setting and emergency room setting when you have one gunshot wound come through. But when you have 15 and they're all teenagers, our staff has been through a lot and they stood up like troopers. They did a fantastic job. They are heroes.
Vigils have been organized by the city in remembrance of those who have died and those who continue to fight for recovery.
Dadeville's a very small community. it just was really difficult because everybody knows everybody, and seeing people come through the emergency room that I think it was just very difficult.
With 162 mass shootings reported in the U.S. in 2023, there is new evidence that these events have had a massive ripple effect on the country's mental health. A CDC-funded study found a spike on the mental health crisis text line in messages referring guns and other gun-related terms following the recent Uvalde school shooting. The CRISIS text line is a nonprofit confidential service that provides a free source for individuals to talk to a crisis counselor through text. Another survey from the Kaiser family showed that nearly 1 in 5 adults has had a family member killed by a gun, and that 1 in 6 have witnessed a gun-related injury.
Former President Trump's request to delay the sexual assault and defamation trial scheduled for next week has been denied. The case was created by former magazine columnist Eugene Carroll, who claimed the former president raped her in the mid-90s. Trump has denied both of these charges. Following the recent publicity from Trump's indictment, his team has asked for this trial to be delayed for a, quote, cooling off period. This request was denied by Judge Kaplan, saying that it was pure speculation that the publicity from the indictment would affect the ability to select a proper jury. Jury selection is scheduled for April 25th.
College baseball team had a detour after their bus caught on fire. The Fisher College players from Boston had a quick change of plans when a fire broke out on their bus. Thankfully, everyone was able to get out safely. As they were about to wait on the side of the road for a new bus, they were invited by the White Marsh Volunteer Fire Company to come back to their station and get some rest.
Instead of having them, stay on the side of the road for the next 4 hours, we really wanted to make sure that they were safe because of how dangerous 95 is. So wanted to bring them, actually brought them over to our station to hang out and wait for their bus to come back from Baltimore City.
Luckily, we were able to get everyone off the bus safely, and we have almost all of our things we were able to get off there before it really went up in flames.
After a few hours of resting and shooting some hoops, their new bus arrived and they were back on the road for Boston.
A Milwaukee veteran drove to Indiana to show his appreciation to 2 parents he literally wouldn't be alive without. Here's Karen Campbell with this heartwarming story.
2 families meeting for the first time.
I ain't as tough a cop as I thought I would.
Law enforcement veteran Keith Thrower came to the Indiana Donor Network.
Man.
All the way from Wisconsin.
All the stuff I used to do, now I can do it again.
To meet Debbie and Dan Patterson. Thrower received their son's heart. Nick was 31.
You want to hear it?
A gift, Thrower says, that gives him a second chance.
Because I was going to actually get an inscription to thank Nick on my arm.
Nick Patterson died of a drug overdose in 2021.
They don't feel self-worth, a lot of times. So by us donating, I was giving Nick that before he passed. At least, saving 3 people's lives would give him some worth,
Thrower suffered several heart attacks, had triple bypass surgery, and undiagnosed Legionnaire's disease. His doctor said his life was fading fast unless he received a new heart. Thrower got the call that saved his life.
If it wasn't for the Pattersons, I wouldn't be here. So, I just had to say thank you. It's just something you feel you have to do as a recipient.
You'll get invited this fall to come back and do more.
Nick's name now among others on the Indiana Donor Network wall, something the Pattersons can hold on to, knowing their son could help save a life.
NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back. Stay with us.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
You alright? It just feels like it's coming from everywhere. Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, And by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Flushes.
So, champ, feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
If you've been outside today, you can agree with the fact that today is a beautiful day.
You're right about that. Start off a little cool, but now the temperature is great. Let's check in with NewsWatch weather anchor Mackenzie Cox on how long this great weather is going to stick around. Mackenzie?
Yes, y'all are right. It really does not get much better than this. 71 degrees here in Oxford today and clear skies, sunny as far as the eye can see. Has been a little bit on the gusty side though, winds coming in from the west at 9 miles per hour, but 0% chance of precipitation, which I can say is much appreciated after the recent weather we've had in the last week or so. And this has been showed all throughout the region. Not much variety today, mostly sitting at 70, 71, 73 in Tupelo, our usual warmest of the region. So it's been a good day for weather in all of northern Mississippi. And looking into tonight, we will be cooling off considerably, 48 degrees. So if you are headed out, I would suggest maybe bringing a light jacket, but you will have clear skies, no need to worry about anything regarding rain, and those winds will be dying down a little bit less. That is certainly some good news if you're heading out this evening. And tomorrow, it'll be even warmer than it was today, 79 degrees, almost 80, which is a little bit unusual this time of year, but I would say it's much appreciated. Sunny skies as well, very low chance of rain, so in for another beautiful day here. And it's going to be the same for all the region. Like I said, really steady temperatures this week due to some low pressure up to our north, so going to be 79 and 80 throughout the region. And talking about some of these temperatures regionally here, I've heard some talk on campus that it's been a little bit of a cooler spring than we're used to, but according to the National Weather Service in Memphis in their Climate Prediction Center, it looks like that's going to be turning around. We are favored to have greater than normal temperatures in the next 3 months, so that's something to be aware of as we get into the end of the school year and if you're sticking around this summer. It might be a little warmer than you're used to. And here, looking at our 5-day, we should be in for some nice weather here Tuesday through Wednesday and Thursday. And our greatest chance for rain is going to be on Friday and Saturday with some possible weekend showers that might alter plans.
Well, I'm really glad the weather's starting to look up, but I'm not ready for those showers at the end of this week.
No.
No. And Jay, I hope that rain doesn't put a damper on any of our sports teams. So what have we got coming up in sports?
Well, coming up in sports, we have the Grove Bowl on Saturday, which was an absolute thriller. Find out who showed up for Team Red and Team Blue. And the NBA playoffs are officially underway, and I'll have recaps of yesterday's 2 biggest matchups. All that and more next in sports.
Creating a legacy takes time. Takes dedication, spirit, and a greater vision. That vision starts here at the University of Mississippi. What will you be remembered by? Your character, your contributions, your friendship. Your legacy will define who we are now and who we are becoming for our state, our students, and our future. Ole Miss, build your legacy.
Bring it. guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home.
Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Welcome to Sports Watch. I'm Jay Tarofsky. Starting us off, we have the Ole Miss softball team who picked up a big win yesterday against the Mizzou Tigers. The 7th inning was wild and certainly in favour of the Rebs, with Lexi Brady, Maya Stevenson and Caitlin Riley driving in a combined total of 5 runs. Going into the last innings, the Rebels were down by 1 and had to come out swinging, and that they did, allowing the Rebels to get a win over Missouri after their bad loss on Saturday. Hopefully the Ole Miss Rebels can win this series tonight at 6 p.m. down in Missouri. Don't sleep on this game, Ole Miss fans, and let's keep those Tigers at bay. The Vaught filled up again this past Saturday for the famously known Grove Bowl game, the Red against the Blues. Let's jump back into it. The quarterback debate has officially started because both Ole Miss sides put up a combined 800 passing yards. These passing yards also ended up resulting in 11 touchdowns. Quarterback Spencer Sanders truly put in his argument for why he deserves to start the upcoming 2023-24 season, putting up 1 more complete pass than Jackson Dart, 3 passing touchdowns, and an electric fast rushing touchdown, showing Jackson he can run too. The Red team ended up taking the game with running back sophomore Fred McAfee running in for the game-winning touchdown, ending the game 53-52. This game showed some promise for both the Ole Miss offense and defense, and definitely got the Rebel fans excited for the season ahead. Now moving on to things over at the NBA, the Miami Heat took advantage of injuries in Game 1 against the Milwaukee Bucks. These injuries resulted in Miami winning 130-117 to take the first game of the series. With the Bucks leading man Giannis out after the first half of the first quarter with a lower back bruise, Miami Heat stepped up to the plate and Jimmy Butler balled out, scoring 35 points and 11 assists to take his team to victory. Miami didn't get off scotch-free in terms of injuries either, with Tyler Hero fracturing his right hand trying to dive for a loose ball. I'd imagine these injuries required a quick shift in tactics that neither team was expecting, but Jimmy Butler was so much so that he picked up the franchise scoring record for a playoff game. The next game in the series is Wednesday, and with Tyler Hero out, a lot is riding on Butler and the other Miami Heat players to secure the second game in the series, and Milwaukee fans, cross your fingers that your star man returns to the court in a couple of days. Into the other playoff game, it's looking a little shaky down in Memphis for the number 2 seed Grizzlies, opening their game of their series by taking a harsh loss to the 7th seeded Lakers. LA Lakers players LeBron James and Rui Hachimura both had outstanding games, with Hachimura picking up a career-best 29 points, 21 of them being scored in the second half. This career-best performance was by completing 5 three-pointers and only missing 1 of his 9 shots in the second half. The Grizzlies put in a strong form performance, with Jaren Jackson Jr. scoring 31, Desmond Bane scoring 22, and Ja Morant scoring 18. Ja Morant, however, had to exit the game in the fourth quarter with a hand injury. This places one of the Western Conference's biggest stars in question for Game 2 on Wednesday. This game concluded 128-112 Lakers, and the next game in the series takes place Wednesday at FedEx Forum. And with the lack of certainty about Ja Morant's eligibility to start, the Grizzlies may have to rethink their strategy for their next game against the Lakers. And that's all I've got for sports. Be sure to tune into Rebel Watch on Fridays at 5 for coverage on Ole Miss sports and beyond. Back to you all.
Thanks, Jay. Up ahead, find out why today requires rhyming and counting your syllables.
And watch the moment when man meets beast. Up next on NewsWatch.
Legacy isn't just about where you're from, it's about where you're going. So where are you going?
I'm going to be the first in my family to graduate.
I'm going to make a difference.
Just like my granddad.
I'm going to make the bestseller list.
And I'm going to help him get there.
I'm going to win a championship.
Again! I'm going to lock the vault! Hotty toddy!
I'm going to take the next step. I'm going to bring them to their feet.
I'm going to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Build your legacy.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Does it ever seem like some people are actually trying to destroy the planet? And the rest of us are like, hey, we need this planet. Some people may be slow to learn, but they'll eventually get the message.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Every week we learn of a new national holiday.
And this one brings back memories from middle school. Today is National Haiku Day. Haiku is a Japanese poetic form that consists of 3 lines with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third.
Today was created to push people to use their creative sides and make beautiful haikus. Okay, now Seth, you worked on your own haiku before the show.
That is right. Okay. How is this a day? Last week it was siblings. Now it's 4 haikus.
I didn't know you were a poet.
Now what can I say? I'm a lyricist.
He's a poet and I didn't even know it.
Lord.
Now this story is about a man getting spooked by a bear, and reporter Jeremy Roth was definitely in the poetic spirit when telling this story.
Prepare to watch a guy in a chair and a curious bear give each other a scare in North Carolina. Yeah. That's what David Oppenheimer says happened as he was chillin' on his Asheville porch. A curious black bear wandered up, and in a humorous caught-on-camera moment, the pair appeared to startle each other, prompting the uninvited guest to scamper off. Thankfully, the scene wasn't grisly. See what I did there? In fact, Oppenheimer says the lounge chair bear scare was just the latest visit by this woodland creature, which he says frequents the neighborhood often and is very peaceful.
That's why I'm happy to be living in the city, not having to deal with bears. No. Well, that's all we have for tonight. From NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Seth Parento.
And I'm Jania Newsom.
With Sports Watch, I'm Jay Tarofsky.
And with Stormwatch, I'm Mackenzie Cox.
Be sure to keep up with us on social media, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 5.
Thanks for tuning in, and have a great night.